Hello, everyone, and welcome on into episode 2 of TECspertZ here. This is the hottest ECU football podcast. This is the crew, once again back for episode 2. I am Sean Rocca, sports director of WZMB. We'll go around and introduce ourselves again. Go ahead.
I'm Nick Green. I'm a DJ at WZMB.
Jarrett, WZMB.
Hello, I'm Nick Bailey. I'm the sports editor at the East Carolinian.
Trevon McGlone. I'm a reporter at the East Carolinian.
And before we get started with episode 2, we would like to have a friendly reminder that TECspertZ is a collaboration between the East Carolinian and WZMB 91.3. We want to thank the Big Vape Theory for sponsoring today's podcast. All right, gentlemen, so the App State game obviously did not go the way we wanted it to. 43-28 was the final score. What are our opening thoughts about that?
You know, I think there's some positives and some negatives from that game. I think we got to see some of the things that we wanted to see from the offense and from the defense, but there were some things that we could not stop. Example of App State's running game, App State's offense, some negatives that pulled our team down. Now we're 0-3. I don't know where we go from here.
Yeah, because, I remember we talked about last time that we got to have Flynn as the starting quarterback, and he was, I believe, 17-31?
Yes.
Over 100 yards passing, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Yeah, not good.
On the day for Flynn. Not good.
Yeah, while Flynn was not good, I still think Flynn was the better option over Mason Garcia. And I still think I would rather see Flynn from here on out over Mason Garcia, just from what I've seen of both. Because while Flynn, he had the 3 picks, and they were not good picks.
No.
He was still able to get drives down the field, and he showed I feel like he's just a better quarterback who can run this system better over Mason Garcia. So, yeah, Flynn was not great on Saturday by any means. I still think he's our best option at quarterback right now, though. And like I said, I think we got to get the running game involved more. That's something we saw a little bit more, but I don't think we have enough of the running game involved right now. And defensively, we didn't play fantastic defensively, but we scored 2 touchdowns defensively.
Yeah. And
App State's a very good offensive football team. This is about what I expected defensively from us. I think the problem is not defense. I think offense is 100% the issue here, and we have got to fix what is going on in the offense, starting with the play calling and just starting with getting the running backs more involved with what we got going on right now.
Yeah, I agree. On the running backs, we got to see Harris. He got to get 12 carries this game, more of the production that we'd like to see, 50-plus yards, 2 touchdowns. So that was nice. And Flynn also added some good plays, on his legs as well, but the defense, we couldn't stop that exploding offense like we predicted,
Yeah, no, like you both said it, but both Nicks, we got 2 Nicks in case you forgot both Nicks. No, you guys said it, that, the running game needs to be more of a focal point, and play calling, I think, has been not great all season. And then, I think another big part is our second half performance. In 3 games, we've been outscored 55-6 in second half of games. That is truly atrocious. That's awful.
That is terrible.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of both play calling and then not adjusting to what the other team is doing.
Yeah. Not really on this game, but just specifically, I feel like we've traveled back in time to, latter half of Scotty Moe, beginning of Mike Houston, just no quarter, no points. We scored 3 points in the fourth quarter this season. And it was a garbage time field goal with time expiring against Michigan's backup, so we have literally done nothing. And to go back to your point on the run game, I feel like the run game will get more involved once we get answer at quarterback. Because with Alex Flynn in, we have a set design for what's going to happen in the run games. But with Mason Garcia, you never know because he's a running quarterback.
True.
And again, a point against him, it kind of just looks like he's not really running to extend the play or running to help out anything. It's just, let me run away.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's planned or anything, and not like a good off-script, just a cringy off-script.
It certainly feels like that, not scripted and kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Almost a little bit. And then, I want to get the room's opinion on our last drive before halftime.
Oh, God.
Because that, to me, was surprising, to put it nicely.
Confusing,
yes.
To put it in the best way possible, nothing made me more mad than that drive right before half.
Well, hold on, what did you think happened? What was
So
it was shoulder soreness. Like Alex Flynn had shoulder soreness. He had
no, I'm not mad that we put in Garcia.
Oh, okay.
I'm mad that we didn't try harder to get points on the board.
Yeah.
It seemed like we got to the midfield point and just said, okay, well, we got to midfield, halftime. Like
Let the clock go down.
I think that's where I'm like the most mad at, because it was one of those things that like it genuinely just seemed like we went out there. App State scored, I believe, 1:16 to go in this first half, and we were up 21-16, I think was the score. And we got to the midfield point with Mason Garcia, and it seemed like we just didn't do anything after that. We were just like, okay, halftime, we got to midfield. We didn't even try and put up more points when we knew we needed as much points as possible.
Well, we got to midfield on the run game, and it's a 2-minute drill going into halftime, and this guy showed you he cannot do that. So, I mean, instead of risking a turnover, giving them time, they have timeouts. Instead of giving them time to drive down the field and put even more points on us, just run the clock out. Let's go to halftime. Let's call this not a win, but let's call it a wash. Our quarterback's having a little shoulder soreness. Let's just send this guy out there, run the ball, run the clock out. Let's go to half.
I say, but I still think we could have maybe called a screen or something just to at least try.
But I mean, you've seen him with 15 minutes on the clock. He hasn't been able to do that. So it's a 2-minute drill. It's rush. It's up tempo. I don't think we have the quarterback for that situation.
That's fair.
I think with a little bit more time, because I want to go back to the first quarter when we first got the ball and scored with the Harris touchdown run. Flynn looked really good. He was 4 for 5 for most of his passes going down the field. And I feel like the soreness in his shoulder could have been a potential reason as to why we decided to be so conservative. But that's what you want to see, those flashes, those ideas of getting the ball out quickly and finding ways to get our wide receivers involved, because we have to get our wide receivers involved too. That's another thing that I want to see, because we have talented wide receivers. Johnson's talented. We have guys that can actually move the ball down the field once the quarterback play gets a little bit more controlled. But I think the flashes that we saw right there, if he doesn't have the soreness that we had, and then trying to clean up the mistakes he made with trying to do too much, going for the deep balls and getting picked off by not putting enough oomph in it. He's not the strongest armed quarterback, but if he can somehow get a little bit more comfortable, I think Gardner Webb would be a good test to see how comfortable he can truly get in his second start if he gets it. So that's how I truly feel about Flynn. He's gonna be able to get it done. I feel like he can.
You see, I think the big problem with Gardner Webb is that, we're going to have tropical storm, Hurricane Ophelia coming in Saturday. So, it might be pouring down rain, might not have a chance to throw the ball as much. So, could that impact the Gardner Webb game a little bit?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Put in Mason. Put in Mason Garcia.
Put in Mason?
Yeah. If it's a torrential downpour when we're running the ball, just put in Mason.
Yeah.
Man.
Let's not throw the ball one single time.
Yeah, I don't know what their opinion is on Flynn, and if he's the strict, number one starter throughout the season, for the rest of the way. But I say down 0-3, you're in the rain, you can't pass as much. I say you throw in Mason Garcia on some design run plays, run a little 2-quarterback system, see what works at this point.
We're kind of let's figure out what works, because nothing's working right now. We're 0-3, and
absolutely.
To be fair, we were favored to lose in all 3 games. But to me, it's the way we're losing. I feel like we're losing a lot worse than maybe is predicted. I think we're not playing as good football as we can.
And like I said, excusing the Michigan game, because we knew going into that, we covered the spread against Michigan. We did what we were supposed to against Michigan.
Yeah.
Both Marshall and App State, we were in both of those games until the second half.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those things. I sit there, I'm looking back on it, you want those games back. It's you feel like you could have played it better, and it's just disappointing to see.
It's a lot of coach speak right there.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're hearing on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Oh, it was a great practice on Monday and Tuesday, but sorry, Saturday sucked.
Yeah.
And not being good in the second half, that's exactly who it's on.
Yeah, exactly.
The coaching staff.
I think it goes on offensive coordinator Donnie Kirkpatrick. He said in practice this week that, first drive, first couple drives, they were scripted, they were planned, so everybody knows that they're on the same page. And I believe we keep coming out flat in these second halves. Coming out in the fourth quarter, coming out on that last, midway through the fourth quarter drive, having a planned out scripted drive that you practice throughout the week would be very beneficial, so we can put some points on the board in the second half of these games.
Oh, yeah. No, you guys, we talk about coaching stats. Currently ECU is one of 6 teams in FBS that doesn't have a win.
Yep.
If things continue, if we're looking at 3-9, 4-8 season, is this the end for Mike Houston here at ECU?
No, he just signed an extension.
Oh, he did?
A few years back, a year or two ago.
Okay.
Right
So maybe not then.
Right after our bowl selection, we didn't play. So
Right.
Yeah.
Because of COVID that year.
Right.
I don't know how the contracts worked out. You don't really see a lot of college coaches' contracts. I don't think we could be fired.
I think it raises a lot of concern though.
Mm-hmm.
Going from 8-5 bowl victory to 4-8, 3-9. All this money that we're supposed to be receiving for an indoor practice facility and all this stuff like that. Like all that can go out the window very quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. No, I mean, it's definitely an interesting debate, and I don't think he gets the boot this year. But I think, if we see, some similar things, even going into next year, I think, Mike Houston's time for ECU could be limited if things don't change.
Absolutely. I think you guys said it best. I mean, I think this year I don't think he's gone, but if things do not start picking up soon, he could be on the hot seat very soon.
I think position coaches are the ones that will be looked at more scrutiny.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all saw athletic director John Gilbert's comments.
I saw that. Yep.
Yeah, and how he said about him and Coach Houston, how they're not satisfied with the results and all that. What were your thoughts on that for the ones that did read it?
What are they going to say? We're unsatisfied with an 0-3 start.
Yeah.
Thank you for the press release, Jesus Christ.
We're trying. We're
who gives a
committed
damn?
the hardest.
We're going to go out there and play our hard. Yeah, do your job, please. I'm expecting you to
I do have to appreciate Mike Houston. He said, if there's any scrutiny, put it on me. It's at the end of the day, it's my job to get these players ready, and they're working their tail off. Don't put it on them. So can't appreciate that from head coach.
That's his job to say it, though. You're appreciated for doing your job. Does the lady at the grocery store or guy deserve a pat on the back every time they bag the groceries? If they get paid to do that, you get the paycheck. That's your little pat on the back.
Right. I think it would have been more weird if he didn't say that. If he was it's totally on Flynn or whatever.
I
don't think he should be getting praised for saying the stuff he's supposed to say to the media.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
But I'd rather have him, taking a little bit of accountability because and I understand that we've been a little bit lenient towards criticizing the defense as well because they've been on the field so many times because the offense has been lackluster. We haven't been able to actually put together drives and score points, so the defense is constantly running out after 3 and outs and stuff, and they're getting tired. And I feel like that's also a reason as to why we are giving up a lot of points in the second half. But big plays, again, you're giving them up constantly. 35-yard touchdown. And then things like that. You can't constantly... I understand it's hard and you get gassed when you're out there, but defense has to be better too. Especially in games where we know that our offense is limited this year. They have to take it upon themselves. And they did make a couple plays at App State. We had that fumble touchdown that we talked about a little bit earlier. And I'd like to see things like that. And I feel like that could be the difference maker between winning games and losing games this season, especially if we can't find, a cohesion on offense between the wide receivers, quarterbacks, running plays, getting things happening. So we need them more than ever now to be consistent in the second half, especially when we have small leads.
And it's also, a momentum boost. When the offense sees the defense get a phone for a touchdown, they're energized. Okay, let's go out and make a play. So I think you're right, absolutely, Trevon, that we need to see some more big defensive plays. Now it's not all on them, obviously, but our offense still needs to perform. But I think a big defensive play can be kind of the changing point in the game, especially against Gardner Webb. And so, speaking of the Gardner Webb game, this is a game we should win. Nobody's debating that. But what is it going to take for us to finally get a win in the win column on Saturday?
Play like we're supposed to.
At this point, if we just have to finish a ball game. I mean, Gardner Webb, yes, we should beat them. They're an FCS team. We should beat them. But I don't think we should overlook them either because we played them the exact same way. Well, no, we played App State the exact same way Gardner Webb played App State. Mm-hmm. They're going to look at that and say, we can beat these guys. And they're going to look at our record and be we're 0-3. And they're going to look at our flaws that we just all talked about, the ones we just all agreed we have these flaws.
Yeah.
They're going to try to exploit that.
Oh, they will be hyped up.
They're going to think they can come in here and win on our family weekend. Yeah. So we cannot overlook. We all think we should beat Gardner Webb here, but this is a game that ECU... Knowing ECU, we might lose this. Knowing how we've been before, we might lose this.
Only way we do lose this is if we beat ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not good enough to beat us.
True.
They can watch this and use this bulletin board material. They probably won't. But, I mean, come on. The only way we lose is if we beat ourselves.
But we probably will. We can.
I didn't say that wouldn't happen.
We could do that.
I didn't say that wouldn't happen.
I think the key is going to be if we can limit the amount of turnovers.
Just about to say that.
Because the first 3 games have just been so many turnovers. I mean, if we can go through one game without any interceptions, that puts us in such a nicer chance to win.
Like you said, beating yourself. Throwing 3 picks is you're not going to win. I don't remember if we had a fumble or not, but too many turnovers these first 3 games.
Way too many. I mean, if we can put a good big goose egg there in the TO column, that's a win in itself, and that would lead to success in the game, I think.
Yeah.
And momentum for weeks to come.
Right, for weeks to come. And then who do we have after Gardner Webb? We go
Rice.
to
We go
Rice.
Rice on the road.
JT Daniels, who's been in college football for 32 years now.
Yeah,
I believe that is correct.
West Virginia,
He's on his
Georgia.
52nd team.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah, that is crazy. But so let's assume the worst case scenario. Okay, we lose to Gardner Webb, right? We're 0-4 going into conference play. Like, what do we do? I guess is the question. Like, if we're 0-4 going into Rice, like, I mean, do we
Go to the rope store and then find a supportive beam. Or unless your NFL team's doing great, but obviously I'm a Raiders fan, so the rope store is the
enjoy
most likely.
Sundays,
Yeah.
There's not much to do. If we lose to Gardner Webb at home, I think at this point we got to look at scrapping things. Like we got to scrap a lot of things.
Somebody's gonna
I
win,
think we
man.
need to start looking forward to basketball season is what we're going to start doing.
And
Yeah.
our basketball team's not even that good.
Right.
So
Whoa.
last season we weren't that good.
Well, it was an improvement off of Dula.
There's gonna be-
That's a
there's
whole
gonna be-
other
there's gonna be-
podcast.
right, that's another
We'll be here.
I actually believe in our basketball.
I do
programs. Come
too.
on.
But yeah, we don't get a win against Gardner Webb. I mean, you just hope to get a couple of wins at the end of the season to make you feel good. Maybe get back up to 500 towards the end of the season, but
I mean, just a couple pride victories at that point.
Yeah.
If we go 0-4. I mean, 0-4 without
Yeah.
conference play. I mean, it's just
Just one.
yeah.
At that point, just one.
Just one.
To
is
hell
what
with
would be
500,
nice.
just one.
But I mean, conference play coming up. I mean, we need this game. We need this game to get some confidence under us, do some things right, and then go into conference play looking towards the stars, not towards the darkness.
This is the perfect opportunity that we were talking about with the weather potentially being an issue for the passing game to get the run game. We've seen flashes of it, especially in the App State game with our boys Gunn, Harris getting started, you know what I'm saying, getting them all on ball, finding ways to get the ball down the field, just running it. Like, Gardner Webb isn't especially tough against the run defense, so I feel like this is a perfect opportunity for us to get like the linemen, finding a way to get pressures out there, open up for zone runs, inside runs, finding things that work, so that when we go into Rice the week afterwards, we have a different plan just in case we have to pass, or we find a way that the run game's working, we can start running more plays and getting things more experimental. Because when you're 0-3, you need to start trying all this type of stuff no matter what. Like, open the playbook, throw a playback up, you know what I'm saying, and then use those stuff. Like, I'm really excited to kind of like see how we rise up for the adversity.
At this point, jump on Madden and come up with a play
Swear,
on Madden.
yeah.
At this point, you got nothing to
Look like
lose.
the NCAA.
You got nothing to lose at this point. I mean,
2014.
yeah.
No, I think you're right. Because, I mean, I've heard time and time again that definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, we have to do something different, whether it be play calling or even like a trick play. What we saw against Marshall when they did the double pass or flea flicker, was it?
that changed the game.
Exactly. It
That
really
changed the
did. I
game.
mean, we lost all momentum at that point.
Yeah.
So maybe try something like that, like we do some sort of trick play or something kind of unconventional, just to get these guys some momentum, some energy. I think that'd be beneficial.
And this is the perfect time in the season. I mean, down, you're 0-3, especially if we can't get something going. I think about in the second quarter of Gardner Webb, pull something out, pull a trick play out, get the crowd going too. If we're down 7-0, 14-0 against Gardner Webb, we need to throw something out like that. I also believe our play calling, like you said, needs to be changed. I think our first down plays where we're just running it up the middle almost every time.
Every time.
Offensive coordinator
every
said in the
time.
press conference, he says that they're going to change it up or something, but because it leads to long second and third downs to where our offensive line, 4 sacks against App State, they can't hold up on those big third and 12, third and 15 pass plays, leads to a whole, bad news for the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, when we run that same thing, the inside run on first down every time, everyone in the stands knows it. Do you think the Marshall team knows that? Do you think App State knows that? Like do something different just to throw them off balance. I mean, it's just I feel like that's fairly obvious, but I'm not Donnie Kirkpatrick, so but I feel like it's just simple as calling a different play.
Yeah.
To me, but
I mean, he's from the Matt Canada School of Football, so I don't know if calling a new play is in their repertoire.
It's true.
But I mean, we really do look like the Steelers. It's just run it on first down, screen, and then just to hell with it on third down.
Yeah.
It's like, all right. So,
Mhm.
But we got a good punter, Luke Lord.
Yeah, we do.
Shout
We
out
do
our
punter.
Steelers.
Just like Steelers.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something we want to be good in. Is good in punishment.
Special teams are just as important as the other two sides of the ball. So
That's true.
I want to say, I don't know if we said this last week, our punter is the second oldest player in college football. If y'all did not know
Is he?
that.
I
did not know that.
Ballsy.
He's 31 years old.
He's an
Take
old
care of it.
Second
Really?
oldest player in college football.
Veteran.
And, you know, that punt he had that led to the pick six by Antonio Jackson. I thought that was a great punt.
I did too.
He
Oh,
did.
I
That
did too.
was
I
right,
love that.
right on, like, I believe the one or the two.
It was
Yeah.
on the one when it had, and that was
Right.
a third down pick six. That was
Yeah. 2 plays
beautiful.
later. Yeah.
absolutely beautiful.
Dude, he's a stud freshman. Antonio Jackson, you know, he's
He's
only
pretty good.
he's only 17 years old. You know, we better improve next year, or else he's going to leave.
I know.
Oh, absolutely.
He won't be here for long.
Yeah, I'm really hoping
He'll
he
start
doesn't
getting some
hit the portal.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if we keep going this way, he'll be gone in a flash.
Gone. quick.
Yeah.
Well, consider a flash here. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in
Appreciate
to
you.
episode 2 of TECspertZ. We'll be back next week, same time. You will not want to miss it. We'll see you then. Take care.